Cruisers, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Back in the studio. Took a week off last week. And I have Cruise with Jen with me. She is normally of the TikTok variety, but she is joining us on stage today. And I'll tell you what, we've been talking off stage, and she has got some great info. I put a lot of info out there about this VIFP plan, and she gave me a couple things. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. We're going to get into, a couple of those thoughts that she had, right after I say hello to everybody. But we have, and let me do that right now. We got Mandy says, Coach, I hope you had a great cruise. I did, Mandy. Thank you so much. Coming off the Carnival Venezia, and then this weekend going on the Carnival Magic. So I'm super pumped about that. We got Will G here once again. Good to see you, Will. Craig Cooper said, so how would you rank the Venezia compared to the rest of the Carnival fleet? The Venezia has some very redeeming qualities about it. It's a very different feel. I'd say it's a little bit more laid back than your typical Carnival ship. I prefer the typical Carnival experience, but there's some definite things I like about the Venezia, like Il Viaggio, for example, their Mile High Gelato Pie. I wish that was in the entire fleet. Guy's Burgers. I haven't been doing many Guy's Burgers on regular Carnival ships, but they have this pepperoni pizza burger or something that's amazing. And then this something Schmoots or something like that. Really good burgers. So those would be a couple recommendations. Justin is here. What's going on, Justin? Good to see you. Roderick Hawkins is saying what's up. Cruising. Chris Moss says, hey, Coach Cruise fam, coming to you tonight from Utopia of the Seas. That is awesome. Good for you, Chris. And I'll be out on the seas with you very shortly. Ken Pascal is here. We got Patty Cakes back, who is a member. You see that little logo there. That means she is a member. Adventures with Uncle Dave. We got Brad H here. Says, welcome home, Coach. Thank you, sir. Mimi Melly is back once again saying hello to everybody. Frankie Floyd, what's up, my man? Victoria Stone says hello from California. Mary Ann, Magic is my favorite ship. I'm quite fond of it myself. Nancy Whitney, heading to Carnival Magic on the 13th. Well, I will give you a high five as I walk off the ship. Cruiser Charlene is saying, hey, Yoli is here once again. Hello, everyone. Super excited. Carnival is bringing Coke back. Yes, that is one good announcement they made. Not quite the announcement I think we all wanted to hear, but Carl Hamilton's back once again. Good to see you. Lisa Cruise Adventures and Marjorie Ambroise, welcome back once again. And JB Smith and Sean Abel are here. Hello to you, gentlemen. Sean says, good evening, everybody. Our next cruise is in 23 days. So I think I'm caught up. I just wanted to note, admin Tim may not make it today, but he did send me the super chats from the last show when I was on the Venezia, or in New York, I'm sorry, in Times Square. But we had Chris Moss 1 through 15, the Texas Cruiser 16 through 25. Charlene is 26 through 45. Texas Cruiser again 46 through 47, and Chris Moss 48 through 57. I knew there was something I forgot. So I have these big coolers that I just got. It's new merch, and I guess we'll have to save that for next time. So we'll keep doing the shirts or whatever, but we're 57 of the way to a shirt giveaway. So 43 more. And we'll have our 100. And you notice Zoe is not here with me. She's with my sister because my sister is, watching her while I'm going on a cruise. But I'll still do the shots. So you guys do the super chats. I'll do the shots. Looking forward to getting a little tipsy here today. But I want to get to our guest, Cruise with Jen, because I came across Jen when I was on YouTube the other day, a couple days ago. And I was looking at all the people, complaining about VIFP plan and sharing it and things like that. And I clicked on Jen's short, which was about a 3-minute short. And she hit the nail on the head quite a bit for me. And I was like, yeah, I really like how she's discussing this topic or whatever. And so I reached out to her and I said, Jen, would you like to come on the show Tuesday and share your thoughts? Because, I'm in line with your thinking here. And thankfully she did. And she's got some great info. And Frankie Floyd, before we get to that info, I'm going to write you down, sir. And thanks for being the first super chat of the night. So you are 58 through 63. And then we have Adventures with Uncle Dave. Thank you, sir. And you are 64, 68, 78. I'm still able to do math at this point. And Michelle is here, says, hello, coach. Hello, Jen. And hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. All right. So Adventures with Uncle Dave. And then we got Carl Hamilton. Thank you, sir. And you are 79 through 83. Now, we're going to start off with some juicy stuff because cruising with Jen, I was telling her some of the stuff that, none of us like about the VIFP plan. And she hit me with a couple things that I hadn't even thought about. And in terms of, the 2-year probationary period, where if you don't get enough points within that little 2-year time frame for anybody that's, not diamond. So Jen, how about you hit us with a couple of those nuggets? We're going to come out swinging out of the gates here.
Sure. So when it comes to the loyalty program, there was 3 different populations that really struck me the most when thinking about how fair this is or isn't. The first population was pregnant women, because pregnant women cannot sail after 24 weeks and children cannot sail until they are 6 months old. So that eliminates a lot of time for a woman who might be having a child. So that's population number 1. Population number 2 would be the retirees, people who are living on a fixed income that maybe can't cruise but every 3 years because they only have a certain amount of money coming in. But those 2 aren't even the ones that got me the most. The one that got me the most is military, because Carnival has heroes tribute bars. They have veterans appreciation. Military deploys, y'all. They go to training. So if they are deployed for 12 months, but they are doing a training before or after or reintegration when they come back with their families, and they can't sail because they are fighting for us to have the right to sail, what do we think?
Absolutely. And those were the ones she hit me with. And I'm like, oh my God, I did not even think about that. So it's fascinatingly bad how little thought it took them this long to put this crap out, and they didn't think about things like that. They're all, that military thing is just like, I'm mad at myself for not thinking about that. That is absolutely brilliant, though. I mean, they're talking about the military and everything. So when your military personnel don't keep their platinum status or their diamond status because they're serving to help our country, and you got the heroes tribute and your military appreciate, is that how you appreciate your military, Carnival? Is that how you do it? Really? Think about it. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's just, honestly, people should, I don't want anybody to be fired, but it's on the brink of like that bad. It's just, and they delayed this. It was supposed to be announced around Christmas. They delayed this crap to be this wrong, to be this bad. And it's just so frustrating. And Jen and I were talking about this too before the show. Neither one of us would probably be affected. Like, we cruise enough with Carnival and cruise so many times that we'll probably earn enough points. We're both diamond. We'll probably be able to earn enough points pretty easily to maintain our status. It just upsets us for everybody else. Honestly, it's like, how can you just shun people that have built your company for decades? They've been coming, and then you're going to tell them after a 6-year period or a 2-year period or whatever else, like, yeah, sorry, you didn't spend enough money with us. So yeah, you just go away, go back to the start. It's just so bad. But in Adventures with Uncle Dave, we're starting with 100 proof, and this will be my one shot from this.
I don't do shots, but I will do a shot of Pepsi since y'all like Coke. Right. Y'all are happy about the Coke coming back.
We can do it. All right, here we go. So I did the 100 proof. That is Yoli and Andrew's bottle, that 100 proof, but we're not going to mess with that 100 proof anymore tonight because I'll be on the floor by the end of the show. But Frankie Floyd, Uncle Dave, Carl Hamilton, thank you once again. And then I saw another one down here, Cruising. Chris Moss did a $17 super chat, and he is on the Utopia of the Seas enjoying life and watching the show at the same time. I am honored. We are honored, my friend. And that gets us to 100. So we will do a shirt drawing. And then right after that, we had Pretty Black Buckeye. I'm going to write it out because that way. But thank you so much. You are 1 through 10 on the next set of super chat here. And I got a lot of comments to get through. I think Jen has sparked a tidal wave of comments here. So we will get to some of these questions here in just a second. But let me do another shot. We are going to switch to this is 890.
You're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I know. I thought this was like a 80 proof, but come to find out it's a 90 proof. So Chris Moss, here you got us to 100, and we'll do that shirt drawing as soon as I read through a couple comments. But here we go. Shot number 2. And anybody new out there, I see we got almost 95 in the chat. If you could hit that like button, we can get this show out to more people. That will help. And we'll get this information because obviously Jen has shared some gold in terms of this VIFP that, again, I hadn't even thought about. So let's get to some comments here. And again, cruising Chris Moss, thank you for that. Ben says, I canceled all my Carnival cruises. What a slap in the face. I'm Diamond. I don't care about the 7-year grace period. You know what? I mean, and that's something else Jen talked about. She is also a travel agent, and she said, well, you could tell them, Jen. What
so one of the perks, and I'm not here to broadcast being a travel agent. Let me just have that disclaimer. But as a travel agent, I can book people anywhere, whereas like a PVP is locked to Carnival. Sucks to suck, I guess. I have been moving all of my people. I had a lot of my Carnival people book MSC today, and I had a lot of my people booking Celebrity. And would you believe, and I'm going to say it, the MSC World America with drinks and Wi-Fi comes in cheaper than the Carnival Mardi Gras.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then people want to try something. It's a brand new ship too. People want to try it out. Yeah. And then not to mention when Carnival slaps you in the face with this VIFP plan, I don't blame people for wanting to.
No, and MSC will match status. So if you are platinum or higher, you will get gold status on MSC. And if you are gold or lower, you will get silver. But MSC is still going to give you a little something. Even just as a silver status, these guests that I booked saved $200. Just because.
Right.
And yeah. I will say, even Carnival's history, like I was looking today, back to the whole military thing and savings. Did you know that the military rate for Carnival is only $10 cheaper than the prevailing rate? There's that too.
That's not cool. Mandy was in agreement with you in regards to, the women and the pregnancies and stuff like that. Thomas is of the thinking that maybe they did think of these situations. I mean, come on, nobody in corporate thought of the negatives. I mean, that's my thinking.
Okay, but if they did think of these situations, are you trying to have a negative view, be in the negative limelight, like the negative light of like, oh, we don't actually support our military. We don't care about people who have children, and we don't care about these retirees who've been sailing since the 80s. Stuck through the pandemic, came back after when Carnival was literally sinking. These were the guests that came back, the ones that wore masks, the ones that still invested their money, the ones that took future cruise credit after future cruise credit after future cruise credit and didn't even get the cash back because they were loyal. There is a difference in status and loyalty. And I think Carnival needs to understand what status is and what loyalty is, because loyalty are all of these guests. Nobody cares about the laundry. I do, but nobody cares about it.
I care about laundry. Don't take it away, please.
Yeah, don't take away my priority tender in Cabo. I need that. But it's more so about the fact that they're combining like a status and loyalty, where like that they're wrapping it all into one thing where I think that they need loyalty is different than a status. These are the loyal people. These are the people that you should be appreciating that kept your business afloat through the craziest of times. And with all of these changes, we have seen the quest go away. We have seen things be banned, things that are no longer allowed. And these guests still had an experience on your ships that was memorable enough to want to come back. Now you've taken all that away and given them a status issue.
Absolutely. Well, Pretty Girl says we're taking our status to MSC. So there's another person that has gone from Carnival probably forever. Tricia and Bert Nichols are here. Easy Cruise Vacation. Sandy the Lost Pirate Jenkins is back once again. Good to see you. Cruise Life TV is here. Marianne, Princess told me they'll match my loyalty. Well, Princess is a Carnival-owned company, but, you know, that's good. That's good to know, I guess, that because Carnival said they weren't going to do that. So,
yeah, I have a lot of
clients. By the way, look at the shirt I got on, everybody. This is not a Coach Cruise shirt. We got Carnival Cruise Addicts in the house, and I got their shirt on right here. I told them I was going to wear it the first show back. They sent it to me right before I went on my cruise. So Carnival Cruise Addicts is saying hello to everybody. So thank you again for the shirt, and I'm wearing it proudly, and it fits good. Carl Hamilton says the new program really doesn't bother me because I will never get to platinum or diamond. You never know, though. I mean, you take a cruise here, a cruise there, and you know how these years fly by. You might find yourself there, you know. Cruiser Charlene says, great points. I do not consider the military or pregnant women. Yeah, and I mean, I did not think about either one of those as well. So, yeah, it's just, I mean, they hired somebody. They paid somebody a lot of money. There were people that were getting paid a lot of money to come up with this garbage plan. I'm okay with the rewards thing. Go ahead, have your rewards.
Oh, absolutely. But you know what? I don't know if you're familiar with this. I'm sorry to interrupt. So they have other brands, Holland America Line being one of them. Did you know that Holland America Line's loyalty and status program goes off of nights and money spent? So they've already got this under their corporation where they have a plan that works for both ways. Why would you not? Why would you not?
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. It's just unbelievable how they could be this bad. Randy, first timer here. Well, welcome, Randy. Let's see. Bam. What do you got to say here? This has caused me to reflect on the value I receive as a diamond level Carnival cruiser, and I've concluded it's worth about $22. The cost for my 2 drinks on a 5+ day cruise. Well, there you go. Michelle B. They don't need to take anyone's job. They just need to come together and realize it needs to be changed, but put themselves into our shoes and out of their pockets. Think of us like us common folks. And yeah, that is so true, Michelle. That has been my thing. I have a video coming out on this very topic. I have the 7 major fails of Carnival when it comes to this VIFP plan. And you know what? I'll tell you what, the 2 that Jen just mentioned, I don't even have those in there, you know, with the military and pregnant women. I mean, add that to the list of failures of this loyalty program, right? So we got Rick, the Texas Cruiser, and I'm going to do that shirt drawing right now so I don't forget. But Rick, the Texas Cruiser, you are numbers 11 through 20. He says, good evening, Coach, and good evening, sir. Those of you that have been here, you know this. What I do is I just ask Siri to give me a random number through 100, and whatever pops up. We have Chris 1 through 15, the Texas Cruiser 16 through 25, Charlene 26 through 45, Texas Cruiser again 46 and 47, Chris Moss 48 through 57, Frank Floyd 58 through 63, Uncle Dave 64 through 78, Carl Hamilton 79 through 83, Chris Moss 84 through 100, and we have Pretty Black B. What was the third thing? I forget. I was abbreviating because I had to have a little space. And Rick, the Texas Cruiser, you all are 1 through 10 and 11 through 20 for the next shirt drawing. But we're going to do that first one right now. Siri, give me a random number 1 through 100. Oh, there we go. 83. So 83 and Carl Hamilton. Okay. Yeah. And Carl's relatively new to this show. I think you've been here about a month or so. So congratulations, sir. You had numbers 79 through 83. So a $5 super chat got you a $25 shirt. So you just let me know and I will ship that off to you. What size? You can message me, all that good stuff. And we are already 20 on the way to our next shirt giveaway, and we will take care of that. But let's try to get to a few more comments here. We got Bam. I had 2 Carnival cruises that I had paid $100 deposit on. I let them expire, so I lost $200, but I'm going on my first roll now. Yeah, and that's another thing. I've seen a lot of complaints from people because they've tried to call Carnival and say, we want to cancel, and Carnival's like, no, we're not going to let you cancel. We want your money. And so some people are opting to just finish that out and go ahead and stay with Carnival for whatever cruises they have booked, and then they say they're going to leave. And other people like yourself are just saying, you know what, screw it, I'll lose the 200, I'm out.
I think Bye. It's better to lose 100 or 200 than give another 2,000 for some situations.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that could be, and as you just explained, I mean, you can save more money if you did the MSC right now. So, Mary Ann says my PVP, and this is something Jen mentioned earlier off camera. My PVP went on vacation right before it was announced. I wonder if she knows the storm she's going to come home to. And as Jen mentioned, she's a normal travel agent, so she can book all the different cruise lines. But if you're a PVP with Carnival, look at the crap they just put you into. You're making money.
Could you imagine the phone calls, the angry phone calls that these people are getting? And PVPs still do also work off of a commission. There's a commission built into every single thing you book. You don't see it. It's the same price whether you book it alone or PVP books it, but they get a commission. And if these PVPs bookings are being canceled, then Carnival is impacting their own employees' salary.
Right. Yeah, no, it's terrible. And that's one of the things I put in the video today. And that video is going to come out tomorrow, everybody. So, if you hit your notification bell, just have your notification bell hit on YouTube. And as soon as that uploads, and I'll probably put it out about noon tomorrow. I was trying to get it out today, but it took forever to upload for some reason. But, I had mentioned in there, just share with us that you are going to change the damn program. You don't have to tell us what you're changing. Just say you're going to make changes because you realize how damn horrible you screwed up. Why?
Okay, but if they do change it, do you think that people are already too pissed off that Carnival has already shown what they're capable of and that they're out for this style of just money hungry, which they're a business. I get that. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I understand how a business works, but they've already shown this side and you've already made people mad enough to leave already. Would they come back? Maybe, maybe not. Is the damage already done? And no matter what they do, let's remember, I'll play devil's advocate here. No matter how they change it, if they change it, they're never going to please everybody.
No, they'll not please everybody. And honestly, and Jen and I talked about this off stage too. They had an opportunity to do so much good here for their brand and make this right, or at least make it tolerable. I mean, how they could, it just amazes me how horribly bad they screwed this up. I mean, most smart companies have focus groups with a base similar to what they're going to, they pay these focus groups a few $100 to have some people come in. Well, not a few hundred, a few $1,000 to have people come in and say, well, what would you feel about this? What would you feel about that? I mean, if they'd have called any of us, and I mean, we got 123 of you watching right now. I'm guessing if they'd have called any of us 123 and they'd have put us at a table of about 10 people and they showed us this crap, we'd have been like, are you kidding? Are you stupid? Why would you do that? That's the dumbest damn thing I ever heard. Don't do that. And then maybe they would have done that. And then, Jen had mentioned too, the poll that had come out in 2019 that John had posted, and where they talked about a rewards-based system or whatever. And you said, was it 87%? I think
87% said no.
Yeah.
So that's not like I could see a 60-40 kind of maybe still going with it, but 87% no is very strong. That is very strong.
Cruiser Charlene is asking, Jen, what about status match? Is that a thing from other cruise lines? If so, which one do you recommend as far as status match?
You can status match with MSC, and you can also status match with Virgin Voyages. So, and I recommend status matching with anybody who will status match you, because you just don't know what the future brings for any cruise line, or what your personal desires may change in the future. So maybe today you're a Carnival cruiser, and then maybe in 2 years you're a Virgin Voyages cruiser. Also, I did see Uncle Dave put a little comment up there. Yes, Dave, I was on the Valor in December, and you probably did meet me. I hope I was on my best behavior. I have sailed the Carnival Valor 43 times. I'm on there 3 times a month.
I like the Valor. I haven't been on the Valor in a long time, but when I did cruise, it was out of New Orleans, and that's where I met Angie, that's on here a lot of times. Her and her couple friends, but yeah, that's a great fun, and it's fun cruising down the Mississippi. I mean, you've done it so many times, I'm sure you don't care, but
fun.
Yeah. But I mean, to cruise down the Mississippi River, that's kind of a cool experience for those of you that haven't done it. And I honestly, New Orleans is probably one of my favorite ports to go to the day before, because I just like to eat, and the food there, like, give me a oyster po' boy, and some beignets and all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm happy. So yeah, that's a good deal. So let's see. Pretty Black Buckeye says, that's why it's so hard of a pill to swallow, and it makes me furious that people who don't mind this is okay with, we have to hold them accountable at some point. Well, you know what? Pretty Black Buckeye, I think people are holding them accountable. I mean, you heard Jen just share, how many people are canceling on Carnival and switching to MSC, and she's a travel agent, so she can speak firsthand. It's not just talk. People are leaving in droves, and that's why Carnival is doubling down on stupid. I mean, we're almost 2 weeks from this announcement. They're doubling down on stupid because they haven't said anything. Carnival, be smart. Say something. Say you're going to change before more people keep going out the door and you keep losing more and more and more people. Stop doubling down on stupid.
So I have something for you to think about, and maybe even the chat to think about. Just because it crosses my mind and I think about all the crazy stuff. So I'm a gambler. We had talked about being gamblers, and I sail on casino rates or whatever. But recently, I have seen some very high rollers. I was on the Glory 3 weeks ago, and at the third night, it was a 3-nighter. On the third night, there was a gentleman with 87,000 points that had run through the machine. That's $175,000 that this gentleman ran through in 3 days. Do you think, one, that the people who are okay with this and say the comments are those high rollers that are like I'm not a high roller, I'm just a normal girl, and two, do you think that since Carnival has got a taste of these high rollers, they've got Christopher Bryan slots that come on, bring all these high rollers on his sailings, they've got this sampling, they want more?
I mean, that could be, but it just, I don't know. I mean, I can't accept just that, because to me, I always think of the story of the golden goose, where, I mean, your loyal cruisers are your golden goose. They give you a consistent golden egg every year. You're getting golden eggs every year. And Carnival, with this rewards program, seems like, the story of the golden goose, for those of you that don't know it, is, this farmer or whatever kept getting these golden eggs, and it would lay a golden egg here, it would lay a golden egg there, but I mean, you were getting gold. It was gold every time. And he had the stupid idea that if he killed the goose, you'd be able to just, cut it open and just pull all these gold eggs out of there. And when he found out, he couldn't, so it's just like, you're killing all your loyal cruisers. All your loyal cruisers are saying, we're out.
Okay, but do you think they even care about loyal cruisers?
I do. Because they have to look at the data. They have to look at the data and see how many loyal cruisers there are.
But let me tell you something. Last week on the Panorama, I was on the Panorama last week. Out of 4,900 guests, 4,900 guests on board, 6 of us were Diamond. 6.
Okay, but on the Panorama, you said California is a different animal.
They're still my point here is they're still filling the ships. There was over 2,000 blue cards. So if they're filling the ships out of every port and so many are new, do you think they honestly care if the old ones leave? And I'm going to say this with as much love in my heart as I have. A lot of the diamonds are older people. They may not be sailing for much longer. They're bringing in the new people. They want the new people. Do you think that this, I don't know. I don't know. I just think all the random shit.
No, no. I mean, it's a fair point. But so here's my, counter to that.
Yeah.
What about all the new ships that they're building? What do they got? Like 5, 6 new ships, XLs and Ace class ships. So I mean, add up the number of people that have to fill those ships. Can you really afford? That was one of the 7 fails that I mentioned in my point. So like you have all these new ships coming online. Can you really purge 40-50% of your cruisers when you have all these new ships coming online? You got to fill them with somebody. Do you have that many new people coming online that you can afford to do that?
That's a good point too, because and this doesn't go necessarily with loyalty, but new cruisers and trying to bring people on. Carnival has a lot of changes going on right now, including no fans. The wobble, no matter what you hear, I'm going to tell you all this firsthand, no matter what you hear from John Held on the internet, the wobble is not being played, and I can verify that very well. So it is not being played as the last song at Sail Away. The cruise directors have a song list that they can pick from, and the wobble has been removed. And then they're changing the theme. They're changing the club to theme nights. One of the nights in the club is now the teen prom. And it's like they were leaving Ochos Frios and the theme night was Latin music. Should somebody tell Carnival that that's not the music for whatever? But they are also claiming that they're not banning rap or this, that, and the other. Notice none of their themes include certain styles of music. So with those other changes, loyalty changes, these other changes, there's no adult dance-offs. They have had that banned for a while. There's no quest anymore. There's no midnight buffets and no this, that, and the other. They're making all these changes. On top of this reward change, are they going to be able to fill their ships? Because people used to flock to Carnival because it was a fun party. I love me a little crazy party. That's why I cruise Carnival.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But if you're not even what your brand has been for over 50 years,
right. Well, yeah, and I can speak to that a little bit too. I mean, you mentioned Quest. That's another thing they took away. Bar crawl. So, like, I host a bar crawl on every cruise. So they're still kind of helping because, in a way, they kind of have to because we'll overrun a bar. But I host a bar crawl every cruise I go on, and I speak with the beverage manager, and they say, well, they tell me straight out. They're like, well, corporate has kind of told us we can't really do this anymore. So we can help you, but we kind of can't. And they help because, like I said, they have to, because we would just overrun the bar. So they have to be prepared for us to come in. So they allow me to help them, I guess you could say.
Right.
But it's not as much help as it was. Because why would you want to do away with fun? The bar crawls I have are in the middle of the afternoon. We hit 7 bars. I mean, it's never, ever, ever, not one time in the 20 some odd bar crawls I've hosted has anybody gotten. We have fun. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we get ridiculous, but nobody has ever gotten ridiculous to the point where it impacted somebody negatively.
Right.
On a cruise. But, again, they're saying, oh, we don't want this. We're going to watch. I get the part about not wanting anybody to be drinking in excess and acting a fool and everything. Usually
but they sell a drink package.
Yeah, exactly. Carl Hamilton, Brad Dowling is my name. Look me up. There's a lot of Brad Dowlings on Facebook, but you'll see me. You know what I look like, and I have a blue water behind me. So that's how you find my particular thing, and go ahead and message me. And congratulations on winning that t-shirt. I'm going to try to find some more comments here. Texas Cruisers says MSC has a great price point that competes well with Carnival, the Carnival's main competition. Hey, you know what? I keep hearing MSC over and over and over again. And I know we have Mark Booz and we have got Scott Controversial Cruiser. on the World America right now, and they're saying how amazing it is. And I think Mark Booz told me, he's like, you know what? I'm done with Carnival. I'm going
So
to
I
MSC.
so I used to live in Italy, and I started sailing MSC before they even came to America. We sailed them the first time in 2011 out of Genoa, and it was a 14-night cruise, my very first MSC cruise on the Opera. And I've been sailing them since. I think I've been on maybe 40 or 50 MSC cruises, and I love them. I don't think that there's anything wrong. Now, you do get people who are like, I didn't like their food, or this isn't the same, but not all cruise lines are the same. You have to be open minded to differences, that it's not going to be perhaps everything that you're used to on any other brand. And that goes across the line for all brands. But MSC, the Carnival needs to watch out because they're creeping up. MSC is going to be going to Alaska. They're coming to Galveston. They're bringing the World Atlantic to Port Canaveral. We have a lot going on.
Yeah. You know what? And even dropping down from MSC, another company that reminds me of when Carnival started out is Margaritaville.
I love Margaritaville. It is the best food I've ever had on a cruise ship.
Really?
Literally the best food. I've been on Virgin Voyages. I have been on Costa, MSC, like literally all of them. I love Margaritaville so much. It is everything that, oh my God, I love Margaritaville.
That's, you know,
I did think when I went on the Paradise at Sea that I was probably going to need a tetanus shot when I got home, but I was fine. Don't worry.
Right. Oh, you know what? Cruise Life TV, great point. I still say all these changes are stemming from when Carnival lost control of their company from the new Middle East investors during COVID. Again, nobody is talking about this. I thought about that a while back, and I haven't thought about it since you just brought it up right now. But yeah, I'm wondering if they're getting pressure, because when this first came out, people were wanting Christine Duffy's head. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like she's done some good things since she came online with the company and stuff. And I'm like, I think that it was more than her decision on this. I think it was
yeah.
And they you know, voted on this decision. I wouldn't be surprised if Christine Duffy said, "Are you guys stupid? This is the
right." Like, I don't believe for one
because
second that Christine went to bed and woke up the next day and was like, "Oh, we're screwing over 100,000 people today."
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's Christine's motive.
Well, I mean, she's the CEO, so she has to stand up there and be the head of the company and act like, you know, this is her thoughts or ideas or whatever. But if we were to come out, you know, and find out behind the scenes, you know, that she was saying the opposite, it wouldn't surprise me.
Do you think, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, your personal opinion, but do you think that, say, John Hill is in favor or not in favor of this? Because he's such a PR person and all answers are so PR constructed. Yeah. What do you think?
John Hill thinks this is complete bullshit.
Okay.
I mean, I promise. Well, I don't know the man that well. But he's a company man, so he's right. Going to say, but when you look at his face and hear him saying, listen, you know, whatever, like when he really backs something, you know, you can kind of see that excitement and everything in his face and stuff. And then when you see his face when there's something, like, just for example, when they were talking about this plan and everything else like that, if you go back and watch the tape, he doesn't look happy. He doesn't look excited. He doesn't look like, oh, you know, it's like, oh, okay, Christine, well, what about this? And, you know, everything is very subdued and all that. And then the next day he's fielding questions and he said, look, this is the reason, you know, we put this out a year early so we could blah, blah, blah. And that's just the thing. We're 2 weeks into this and you still haven't said we're going to make changes. You still haven't said it, Carnival. Like I said,
right. And it's Carnival, and it's not
stupid.
It is not John's. And that's the thing that I feel like John is not my favorite person in the world. He is not. But he has such limitations because of the company, and people are absolutely brutal to him. He can only say so much. It is not him not wanting to say, we're going to make changes. I think he wants to say what he knows, but he can't. His hands are tied.
Adventures with Uncle Dave found you and sent you a video to a friend of mine from your phone. So
I found you. You said, oh, I stole your phone. I do that a lot. Well, I hope to see you again, Dave.
All right, we got Barbara Anderson. I loved Carnival. I have a cruise this October. Next January, before I book another, I'm going to sit and wait in hopes they love people like me, retired, and try to cruise twice a year. That's a great comment. Thank you, Barb. NC says, hi, Coach and Jen. Great to see you both. Nora. Oh, Nora. Yeah, Nora and I, we will be cruising later this month on the Carnival Horizon. She always throws me off by that NC. That is Nora, Colorado. She is one member of the night crew. We have our own little group, the night crew. It's a long story, but Life Unfiltered says, and people are selling their Carnival stock.
So
yes.
Did anybody check the stock today? I usually check, but I didn't. Has anybody been keeping up this week? Are we good? Are we up? We down? Anybody in the chat?
Yeah. I know after they made that initial announcement, it went up slightly on the day.
But they made the initial announcement. Then they did their quarterly whatever, like financial, profits, this, that, and the other, that they made a ridiculous amount of money. And of course it went up. It all played these factors. Well, also, y'all, we're not ever going to record this, okay? They made that that announcement so strategically. What is coming next week? Y'all know we're going to Celebration Key. John's going to be on the ship. I'll be on the ship. Christine will be on the ship. Now we're going to worry about Celebration Key in hopes, and I believe this in my heart, that people forget about this loyalty program. I believe it in my heart.
I'm not going to let them. I'm gonna keep putting it out there, everybody. As long as you keep watching the videos, and honest to God, that's why I keep making these VIFP videos. Is as long as you all are hot about it, and you still are. I mean, we got 162 of you watching right now that are still hot on this topic, and I don't blame you. Celso Green says, I have 2 more cruises with Carnival, and goodbye, Coach. I think we're going to see you on MSC. You could. I'm waiting for. I want to get big enough to the point where some of these other cruise lines contact me,
I can tell you who won't contact you.
Yeah, who's that? Carnival? Yeah, they won't. They won't even acknowledge. They say they're watching all this stuff on media, right? The only way they say acknowledge that they're watching it on media is if they want to ban you. Then you'll hear something from Carnival. That's
or if they want you to remove a video, they will reach out to you. I promise it just happened.
Okay. Well, so far, they haven't asked me that, and I will say, Carnival's media team, in all fairness, has been great. I've interviewed dozens of cruise directors. Some of my great friends within Carnival are cruise directors, Alchemy bartender. I mean, so many friends throughout the Carnival crew and stuff like that. But the ones they allow me to interview are usually only the cruise directors. But I mean, the media team's been great, and I try to be fair with Carnival. And again, there was one time they got upset with me, and they thought I said something that was untrue. And I said, yes, it is true, and here's the proof. And I shared the proof with the media team. And I said, you're saying I'm lying about this stuff. I'm not. Here it is. I don't lie. Right. I mean, obviously, these are my opinions, and my opinions, and these are your opinions, are not favorable to Carnival. But it's true. I mean,
but I think, as a paying guest, all of us as a paying guest, if we are not invited on there, courtesy of any cruise brand, as a paying guest, we should not have any fear to express our opinion, our thoughts and desires. If you value what your people think, and especially when it comes to the changes, you should want to hear these things. No business is going to have all favorable opinions from their guests. That's just not how it works.
Well, everybody, let's see. 2350. Nora, Colorado. Nora, NC. I had to scroll past a bunch of comments. I apologize to everybody. You all are just amazing tonight. We got 173 people online. This, Nora, here you go. This is yours. We got the 4 roses going here. Here's our next shot. We are 23 through 52. If we get 48 more in super chats, we will give away another shirt tonight. We got Pretty Black Buckeye, 1 through 10, Rick the Texas Cruiser, 11 through 20, Carl H, 21 through 22, and now Nora, Colorado, 2352. So Nora, Colorado, member of the night crew. Oh, and look, Nora, Colorado, NC, that could stand for night crew also, coincidentally. There we go. Oh, that one tasted good. All right. So thank you for that. And I apologize again. I went past a bunch of comments. So if you could put them back in. again, it's because you guys are too awesome. I can't keep up. I'm sorry. We have a great guest on today, and we have great comments. So Mike Sherman says, how many of these new cruisers were someone that was recommended by a prior cruiser? I've talked numerous people into cruising over the years. I can do the same after cruising on another line. Yeah, that's a great point, Mike. Yeah, it's word of mouth. Like
that's the best form of marketing, and all this free marketing that people are doing on social media about their great experience with whatever cruise line. We can persuade by speaking to our friends and family to go anywhere.
Dan Dunn, the reason you couldn't see our guest name is because I had comments up there. But if I take your comment off, look at that. There's her name. Cruise with Jen. Cruise with Jen, your primary format is TikTok, right?
It is TikTok. I have a really big follow. I feel like it's really big because I could not imagine standing in front of 100,000 people. So I have 100,000 people that pay attention to what I have to say on TikTok. I go live on there. I cross post everything, or a majority of things, to YouTube and Facebook. This is my first time I've ever gone live on YouTube. It's just not a platform that I like. I feel like y'all put so much work and dedication into YouTube, and TikTok, I don't got to do any work. I'm like, y'all, I'm sitting in my car and I'm just going to make what I want to make. So yeah, TikTok is where I am most of the time, but it is Cruisin' with Jen over there and Cruise with Jen here, Instagram and Facebook. But most people have found me everywhere. But yeah, you can all, if y'all ever want to listen to me ramble, I do rapid fire question lives on TikTok, like cruise lives. I will go on for about 2 hours. Any question, I don't look away from the camera. It's just what we do. And then when I'm on a cruise ship, I literally lap the ship about 1,000 times. I'm on live for 4 to 6 hours at a time. I take you to the shows and I do all that fun stuff.
4 to 6 hours, and your Wi-Fi holds up on the ship for 4 to 6
hours? It does. I always get premium though.
Oh, I get premium too, but my Wi-Fi is like going off and stuff like that. I guess they don't like me.
They don't like you.
They special premium Wi-Fi, I guess.
No, I do find like Panorama had really good internet. Spirit had good internet. The Glory, the Valor was terrible, absolutely terrible. But yeah, I go live a lot. It's just I don't know. I want people to feel like they're part of it, and especially to ease the hearts of people who are nervous about cruising. Like, because they'll be like, can I see the water? And it'll be 11 o'clock at night. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm terrified. And I'm like, there's nothing to be scared of. Or that railing's low. And I'm like, look at me standing next to it. It's up to my armpit. You're fine.
Right. All right. So I'm going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to highlight as many comments as possible without actually talking about them. I'll talk about some. Marianne says, Coach, I agree with you about John Heald. John's job is to put lipstick on a pig. Well, he's definitely
just
doing
like they did to the Triumph.
John Heald also works for a company who's going to be loyal to them. Well,
that's his job. Yeah, I can respect that. Absolutely.
Let's see. Rachel Cooner, in response to your Carnival, says Carnival's up 2%. 2%'s a nice bump.
Thank you, Rachel. Rachel's one of my friends in real life. I told her to come here.
Oh, okay. Very cool. James says up over 5 days. Cruise Life TV says don't sell it. Will G 2861 stocks up again. Adventures with Uncle Dave. Well, you know what? I mean that's one of those things too with stock is I feel like everything's based on quarterly earnings and stuff like that. Quarterly earnings were great, right? I mean, but here's the thing.
We're great.
Exactly. What's it going to be in the future? Are we entering a period now where there's going to be so many cancellations? I mean, John, speaking of John, he's always like, oh, we have all these bookings. We have all these ships that are sold out, whatever. Let me tell you something. Fact. Okay. They all say it like, oh, all these bookings over the summer, they're all sold out. I had friends, right? We're all going on July 27th cruise, just a couple weeks after Carnival Vista makes the trek to be the first celebration key. I'll be on the Carnival Horizon starting July 27th. And I had a crap room and I'm like, you know what, let me just see if there's any rooms available. Not only were there rooms available for the July 27th Horizon cruise, there were like 6 Havana cabins open. Okay. So I called in and Nora, along with, several other my friends that are going to go in that group or whatever. And we all just booked the Havana. We upgraded to the Havana. for a discounted price from what it would be. So that's either because people are canceling or, yeah, I mean, I don't know, but like if that's already happening now, imagine what's going to happen if they don't change this VIFP plan.
So here, my opinion on the canceling, and you may not agree, and that's okay. I don't feel like people who are paid in full, this is where I come into play. People paid in full probably aren't going to cancel because Carnival's terrible about giving money back. I think it's more so that those people in the future, like my Jubilee sailing for Thanksgiving, done. I'm not taking it because I cannot justify giving them another $4,000 when I could just lose my $200 deposit. I think it's those future sailings that'll probably, because right now we're paying off October's. I think we're about October sailings right now. Those are the ones that are due. So anything from October on, those are the people that are going to be canceling even more frequently.
Right. And Jeffrey Harley says, my wife and I truly love Carnival. We're looking at MSC now. Our whole goal is to make a diamond. And now that will cost us $66,000 a year. No way. Yeah, they say they're going to come out with a fact sheet that makes that 66,000.
So I have a question since he mentioned diamond, and I maybe I interpreted this wrong, and maybe you have a different insight. So they said that like us diamonds are grandfathered until I don't know 6 years, 2032. Do we get 6 years to build that status, or is it still that 2-year window, 30 to 32? Is that what's going to be the factor?
Yeah, I think it'll be either the last 2 years of that 6 is what they're going to look at. I think that's.
So what's the whole thing matter then? I still got to do it.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, and that's just the whole point. The thing about it is, you would think by being diamond that they were giving you gold.
Right.
They're not giving you gold. What they took away a bunch of stuff. Basically, all that's left over is priority boarding and laundry. And they even said that they're not giving you unlimited laundry. They'll give you up to 5 bags, which is plenty. And that's still more than
I bring a lot of underwear on my cruises. I need more than 5 bags. Apparently, I met your friend Nora on my birthday cruise last year.
No kidding. Okay, yeah. I met Jen in person. I sailed on the Mardi Gras when it was her. Oh, very cool. Okay. Well, there you go.
I hope I was kind and not trashed.
So see, Jen, you could join our night crew because we jump on after you get off the Vista, jump on the July 27th Horizon. And
I wish I could. I have a very big group cruise coming up from a lot of. I have 100 people that follow me on TikTok coming on the Valor with me Labor Day weekend, and I can't tell you the excursion, but I got us a private excursion, and they all trusted me and paid me and have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, that's, hey, you know what? I mean,
and I'll be on the.
That sounds like the best type of excursion.
Exactly, and I'll be on the Valor August 14th too. So like I'm sailing every 2-ish weeks from here until the end of summer. I wish I could. Serial
Cruiser says,
Mr. Jim, what are you doing here? Go back to TikTok.
Texas Cruiser is in it to win it. I like your thinking, Texas Cruiser. You are numbers 53 through 62. So we are only 38 away from our next shirt giveaway. John, well, here's a John that says the other John is just a puppet. I mean, I don't know. I
don't know if that's fair.
Yeah. Brad 8 said Carnival fights back on media they don't like. Opinions are like farts. Everybody has them. Some stink, some noisy. All are their truth. Very true. Dan Dunn, I don't know what you're thinking of me. Oh, yeah. Okay. I remember Dan. Never mind. You're welcome. Let's see. Ryan, what's he got to say? At first, I was pissed, but after the last couple of days, I've stopped caring. What does my platinum get me? Priority boarding, free laundry, and a packing cube. Oh boy. Yeah, and I don't even think that last part's true anymore. I don't even think it gets you a packing cube. They got rid of that.
They're getting rid of it. But
you don't get a crappy packing cube anymore.
I need to, if Rachel, if you're still listening, and because Rachel sent me the breakdown of their corporate costs, why we're nosy as hell, I don't know. But I wonder how much money Carnival actually puts out when it comes to pins and VIFP gifts. How much of that money is factored in, I'm just curious. So Rachel, I'm gonna need you to find that.
Well, I know it
Um,
was either Cruise Life TV or Carnival Cruise Addicts. They had that info, and they do
did they?
spend a lot of money. I mean, but across the fleet,
Right.
if for the charge of those. But now they just said they're going to get rid of those gifts. But again, that's the frustrating part of them canceling, and saying that you have to renew your loyalty, because they're not giving you that much anyway. They're giving you some damn laundry and letting you board a little sooner. That's
Okay. So do
the big
you?
thing that they can't fulfill. Really, you can't fulfill. Buy some damn extra laundry machines and hire a couple extra people for the laundry room. You can satisfy that. As far as the priority boarding, if you're diamond, well, guess what? You get to call in and check in, a couple days earlier before everybody else. And that's how you satisfy that. And then you just put everybody in order of their priority, and then boom, problem solved. It's not that difficult, Carnival. We
But do you
solved the problem.
think that I'm going to go two ways with this? I think maybe. Let me see how the thoughts come out. Do you think that guests should be entitled to something for free because this is what they choose?
Because of their loyalty, or
Yes, because I'm thinking you're loyal to other things and you don't get any kind of perks. What else are we loyal to? I'm not sure. Like we've got to be loyal to something else. We're loyal. I'm loyal to Pepsi. I get nothing except for pure enjoyment. But do you think that kind of loyalty actually warrants something for free?
Well, I mean, I think when you do it, and this is where the reward system factors in. Like if you go across any travel company, pretty much any travel company now has some kind of reward based system. All the airlines have some kind of point based system or rewards. That's the thing. And if anybody has misunderstood me, I don't have a problem with the rewards system. I don't. Like I think that's a good thing. Like, okay, you spend some, X number of dollars, get this. You spend X number of dollars, get that. Great. That's all. That's an added thing. Great. All of that's fine. I haven't focused on any of that because I'm focusing on them screwing the people that have been most loyal to them. That's what I'm focused on. Until they fix that, I don't give a damn about what you're giving people for their money they spend. And that's great.
Okay, so here's another thing. I don't know. Are you a solo traveler or do you travel with friends and all that?
I'm mostly travel with friends. But yeah, I've cruised solo too.
Okay, so here is me again playing devil's advocate because I promise I just try to think of all the things. I have a lot of solo cruisers and they don't get double the nights, but they pay double the price. They get a 7-night cruise, they get 7 nights at sea. Now, with this new system, that would kind of benefit them because they would be benefiting from paying double occupancy.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's one of those things. It's like, you see those commercials where they're like, oh, no, I get to pay. No, I get to pay. No, I get to pay. So they can get their 2% bonus or whatever it is.
Right.
It's like, like whoop-de-doo.
It's just, I think that there's so many different.
Like, oh, I'm happy to pay double now.
There's so many different like points of view to look at, like, and when you look at all these different mechanisms that are revolving, it is so hard to comprehend the entire thing of like somebody's going to get screwed, but don't screw your entire customer base, which is what is happening now. Your entire customer base, someone's going to not be happy. But what is, put it in the chat, what's the best option? Tell us, what do you think is the best option? Okay. To keep what we have the way it is and just move forward, like the new change forward, to stick with the old way, or what would you recommend would be the best option?
Celso Green. I scrolled all the way to the bottom, everybody. And again, I apologize, but it's because you all are too awesome, so I can't keep up with you. So I scrolled past a ton of questions, probably all the way to the bottom, since Jen just asked that question, so we can keep up with that question. But Celso Green, coach, we met on Illuminus in Alaska. That's awesome. Yeah, that was a great cruise. Oceans viewed, but other lines have found a way to reward solo cruisers without changing their programs. Good point. Enso Box, I'm not diamond yet, but platinum 100% support these changes. I can't wait to be rewarded for how much I spend. Okay. And again, I'm not opposed to people being rewarded. I know Matt Hinkle is somebody that comes to mind. He was one of the first people that talked to me about this. And he's like, you know what? I'm buying like these suites and stuff, and I spend all this money and I'm getting the same value, like days wise or, status wise, as somebody that's getting an interior for like no money or something. So, I understand it from both sides. I can, be objective and look at it like that. So I can definitely see where some people that are spending more money, it's a good thing. Mike Sherman, in response to what you recommend, I say merge the two together. Yeah, I think a merging of the two. Yeah, that absolutely. They just it's like they just were like, okay, we want to reward the people that spend money, but we want to crap on the people that have been most loyal to us. And I mean that's not cool. Slapdown related news. Carnival announced that platinum and diamond level guests will now be required to swab the decks each night and scrub cookie. Yeah, that's the way it felt. That's the way that announcement felt. They should have just incorporated new levels and adjusted what was already there. Yeah. Faster the fun.
I hate faster the fun.
Faster the fun. It's like, okay, we can't accommodate all the priority boarding. Oh, but here's
$100. If you pay us $180, we'll put you right after the suites.
Okay, let's see. Ryan again. Let's see. Tim, as long as I get my free room offers, I could care less. And that's what it boils down to for me. And Jen says she's a casino player too. I'm a casino player, so I'm going to get discounted room rates. And that's why I haven't ventured out to a lot of different cruise lines, is because I get on Carnival for so cheap because they take all my money in the casino, basically.
Pause for 1 second right there.
Yeah.
Have you gone and taken your Carnival offers to sail the other lines for free yet?
I know people keep telling me that, but here's the dumb thing that I do. As soon as I get my offers, I'm like, oh wait, I got a great offer for New Year's Eve. Okay, I'm gonna sign up for it. I'm gonna pay for it. Oh, I got a great offer for spring break.
That's okay. That's okay. All you need to do is take a screenshot of your best offer and upload it to your UR Compt. Once it's in the system, you're golden. You don't got to do anything else. You don't even need to upload another offer ever. Okay. And then they will constantly populate like I have Royal Caribbean Icon, World America. Yeah, I can go on any of these. Put yourself in for those.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to do more of that because people keep telling me, a couple of people telling me today, like, I need to get on MSC. I need to get on this World America. And I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's set it up. Let's go.
Use those offers, leverage them. They're really, really good. Like I've done Virgin Voyages, MSC. I had Holland America booked for free, Celebrity, literally all of them booked for free. Well, port fees in Texas, and they still come with drinks. And Virgin Voyages was the only one that did not come with any casino money.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I don't see that happening. The solo cabins, I don't see that happening. Tim, I wish you had. Somebody had made a comment, I forget who it was, about me pumping out these videos. And again, I'm going to keep pumping out these videos until people don't care. Once people don't care about the VIFP program or whatever, and or as long as you all are upset about it, until Carnival changes it and fixes it, and people are satisfied, like, okay, or until you all are like, okay, nothing's going to change, let's just forget about it, then they'll keep coming. Like I said, I had one video recently on YouTube. It was, I don't know, a 20-minute video, and 40 some odd thousand of you were all over it, and 1,000 likes and 1,000 comments and everything else like that. When all that slows down, then I'll stop putting it out. So whoever that was, there you go. I'm going to keep cranking them out. Enso Box, I agree with this, and get rid of faster the fun. Yeah, a lot of people want, but that'll never happen because they make money off that. That was a point I'm making in the video that will be released tomorrow. Again, have your notification bell on, and you will hear my thoughts on that. Do you think gamblers are going to come out okay if they? Oh yeah, gamblers are going to be great with CCL.
We're golden, but it's not about us. It's about us.
Texas Cruiser, thank you again. You are 63 through 67. So we're only 33 away from that next super chat. Life Unfiltered, they said the current program is too top heavy, but they say the new program will be easier to, you know what? And Life
That's
Unfiltered,
bullshit.
and that's bullshit. As a matter of fact, you know the little kid that says bullshit,
Bullshit.
bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I included that in my video that's going to be uploaded tomorrow because you know when Christine Duffy said with a straight face, we have so many people, it's just so hard. It's so hard to you know accommodate you know, with all the perks and everything else like that and bullshit bullshit bullshit. I you know the priority boarding, I get that part I understand because not everybody can have priority boarding and as many of you have said, if everybody has priority boarding, nobody has priority boarding, so that much is true. But aside from that, you can accommodate other perks and ways and you know like I say laundry.
There are perks they can do for literally free. You know how like we get the diamond luncheon or the diamond cocktail party, whatever. They already cooked the damn food on the ship. Just set up a lunch. You've got a perk. There are ways to free perk yourself. Like
Absolutely.
they drive me
Just
crazy.
a little note here. We are already 6 minutes over. I tell you, we're not going any later than 1:15. Okay, so
Boo.
less than 9 minutes. But I do appreciate you. 163 of you. If you could hit that like button, that will be awesome. Nora, Colorado said, "What New Year's cruise will both of you be on?" I'm currently scheduled for the Venezia. Where are you?
I am on, so I'm going to be very busy because I will be on the Valor, 2 days off on the Spirit, 2 days off on the Valor. So I will be on the Spirit for Christmas, 2 days at home, and then back to New Orleans. I'll be on the Valor because if you think I'm not going to be on the Valor for New Year, I am. We leave the 31st.
The Valor. All right, love it. I gotta get back on the Valor. I gotta get
You
back.
do. It's so much fun.
It is. I've been on that. I mean, I love that alchemy bar too. On that,
Oh
you
my,
know,
I do prefer a Spirit class
next to the
alchemy
piano
bar.
bar. Yeah. How's the piano bar been on your Valor cruises?
The Gustavo has been the piano bar, that guy that was in there. I'm not. It just came back from the transatlantic. It's on its very first sailing, or no, it's on its second sailing back from the transatlantic right now. So I don't know who is back on board. And they had a big crew turnover, big. But Trevor, who was the acting cruise director on there, I will be down at his house on Thursday. I'll get the scoop.
Okay, very cool. All right. Well, let's see. We have. I wanted to. Is there anything that I want to? Oh, so here's something that we haven't covered that I wanted
Yeah.
to cover because Amelia is the very young child that I'm thinking of right now. I have a couple friends, Lewis and Monsi. They have a granddaughter named Amelia, and
Okay.
I can speak firsthand to the fact that they have taken little Amelia, and I've cruised with her on multiple cruises and booked multiple cruises with Carnival. Why? Because they love taking their granddaughter on cruises. Well, yes, but a lot of the reason was their goal was to get her to platinum. What good is it now?
So,
It's
that's
not worth a
interesting
damn
that you
thing.
bring that up because when I was talking to the loyalty champion, so if you guys are cruising Carnival anytime soon, they have employed this very specific person called a loyalty champion on board. He has a pop-up desk and he or she is employed to speak to you about your questions and concerns about the loyalty program. The answers are completely different from them than you're going to get online from John. I promise. It's ridiculous. I do have a video of talking to one of them. And I said, one of my questions, this is the day that the program was released that I asked this question. So things may have changed since, 2 weeks. I said, now, if we book a room with my child in it, who does the money get split upon? How are you guys splitting upon it? And he literally says in the recording, only the parents. I'm sorry, what? And I said, okay, so say it's a husband and wife. Who gets the money reward or whatever? Well, the person whose debit or credit card it's on. I'm sorry, what? Like, I don't know many families. Now, like with my book with my friends, we all pay separately. Or they Venmo me money, but they shouldn't go without their points. They are still paying me. The cruise is still paid in full. I'm not going to get my husband to pull out his debit card to make two damn payments on a cruise. That's inconvenient. So that we both can get points.
Right. Yeah.
Weird. I don't know. When you get on your ship coming up, see if you can find the loyalty champion.
Oh, yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I'll have to find out who.
And notice the title is loyalty champion, not reward champion, not I
they just
champion of
haven't gotten
unknown.
around to changing that yet.
Yeah.
That'll be next week. Oh, we have a new designation for our person on board. They are now the rewards champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So well, I think we are getting pretty close to the end. If you have any pressing questions, everybody, we have already given you 10 minutes of overtime. But yeah, if there's any pressing questions that anybody has, I mean, I love that 152 of you are still on 10 minutes after we're supposed to be over with. That's amazing. Before you go, again, if you could hit that like button, and if anybody has any last minute questions that we have not covered in relationship to the VIFP plan. And I want to thank Cruise with Jen, because I mean, I don't need to say it. I mean, she was pretty awesome. I think you all would agree.
I appreciate you inviting me along and giving me my first opportunity to be live on YouTube. I do.
The only problem is you were so good that you have to come back on again in the future.
I'll think about it. I'll consider it. No, anytime, actually. Anytime, any kind of hot topics, or if you just want to have a cruise chat night, whatever. If I'm available, if I'm not here, I'm live on TikTok. So anytime, I love getting together with other cruisers, because the different perspectives, even when it comes to a hot topic, I love hearing everybody's thoughts, whether it's in the chat or just cruisers in general, because while we might not all love and want the same things, at heart, we just love cruising and we love living our best life. So we may have different expectations, but I do think that we all value each other as just a cruise community. And the cruise community is one of the best ones that I know.
Absolutely. The cruise. I mean, okay. So Maren Morris, I've said this for those of you that are on my channel all the time. She has this song, All My Favorite People. And when she's singing that song, I mean, it doesn't talk about cruising, anything else like that. But when she's saying all my favorite people, I'm thinking about my cruise community.
Mm-hmm.
So go listen to Maren Morris, look up the song, All My Favorite People. And again, you'll be like, well, this isn't really talking about cruising or whatever, but it's just that mentality.
It
right?
is.
You know, about the cruise community and the cruise people and all of us, who we are and everything else once we get together on a cruise ship. So yeah, that's
we're all family. Cruise people are family. And I will be 100% honest. I have never met somebody who was not cruise family on a cruise ship. It doesn't matter where they came from, how much money they have, the color of their skin, none of that matters. We are all family, and everybody has always been like that on every single cruise I've been on.
Absolutely. Let's see. That says, yeah, and Nerdin kind of points that out here. Can't get away from a good time. Yeah, that's my other favorite song. I mean, my theme song, Just Can't Get Away from a Good Time. That's Logan Mize. That's another great song. Manuel Pruitt says, thanks, Coach. And Jen, longtime subscriber and first time commenting. I love that, Manuel. Thanks
for hanging out.
And yeah, thank you, everybody. Again, thank Jen. If you haven't already subscribed to Jen on YouTube, she's on Cruise with Jen on YouTube. But she's got over 100,000 subscribers on TikTok. So she's like famous over there.
Oh,
so
no. We're just
over to TikTok. YouTubers, go over to TikTok and subscribe to her on TikTok. And for you TikTokers, come over to YouTube.
Come on. Like, I had posted all your stuff over there on TikTok, which is how they all ended up here tonight. I was like, come on, come share. Because, you know, we all have different platforms and everything. We all just, I share everybody. I'm like, let's follow everybody, because you don't know. You might know something I don't know. I learn a lot from everybody. So
well, that's the thing. I just found Jen for the first time just a couple days ago, and I'm like, I like her. I got to get her on the show.
Not everybody does. So I will tell you, as a disclaimer before we end here, if you see some of my videos that come off as complaining, I promise you I'm not complaining. I'm very transparent. If I say this is the worst room ever, on TikTok, I get paid. And I know how to drive the views. So I don't hide that. I'm very transparent, but I love cruising. I've never had a bad room and I've never had a bad cruise except for the Carnival Elation. But we won't talk about that. I don't take what you see in these TikTok videos to heart because a lot of people have met me in person. You've seen it in the comments. I love everybody and I love, 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 love cruising, or I wouldn't be spending my money doing it.
There you go. All right, everybody. We're going to let you go. Thank you. Again, this is Cruise with Jen. I'm Coach Cruz. Like and subscribe to both of us. We appreciate you. Everybody, we'll see you next week on the Carnival Magic. I'll be going live. All right. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And peace.